This has to stop. Migrants are pouring through the border. Let's watch a little bit of this. I want to educate myself on this a little bit more. What's going on with this? My man, Matt Walsh. I like Matt Walsh.
What most people probably don't know is that conservatives are now helping the left neutralize the right of self-defense. But yesterday's ruling by the U.S. Supreme Court is proof that's exactly what's happening. It's undeniable. By a 5-4 vote with two supposedly quote-unquote conservative justices in the majority, the Supreme Court gave the Biden administration the green light to terminate the right of self-defense along the southern border with Mexico. Now, this ruling is maybe the single most significant attack on your right to defend yourself and your property that we've seen in at least a decade. And it's happening because of the quote-unquote conservative majority on the Supreme Court that we're supposed to be so grateful for. So here's the upshot of the ruling. Supreme Court allowed the Biden administration to remove razor wire fencing placed by the state of Texas on private property with the consent of private property owners in order to keep hundreds of thousands of illegal migrants from flooding across the border every single month. So to restate, the Supreme Court is letting the Border Patrol destroy border fencing set up by Texas. But if you look at the docket from the lower courts, it's not hard to see what might have convinced the justices. In one filing, the Biden administration's Solicitor General argued that the razor wire fencing endangered the lives of criminals who are swimming in the water and trying to sneak into this country. If you have the fencing there, it's going to endanger their lives. So here's what the Solicitor General, Elizabeth Preliger, told the court. She said that the fencing prevents agents from, quote, accessing or getting near the border along the 2.5-mile stretch of the river, and therefore effectively prevented agents from monitoring the border to determine whether a migrant requires emergency aid. Now, what was left unexplained in the Solicitor General's filing is why anyone in the U.S. has any obligation to provide emergency aid to foreign criminals who are trying to invade this country illegally. You're not going to find that requirement in the Constitution or in any federal or state law. It's just invented out of thin air. We are now responsible for making sure that Mexicans and Haitians and Guatemalans get top-notch medical care as they swim across the Rio Grande, apparently. Which is to say, it is our responsibility to provide medical care to non-citizens who are injured while in the process of attempting to break our laws. But if it's anyone's responsibility, why isn't it Mexico's or Haiti's or Guatemala's? Why don't we simply tell them to take care of their own people? There's an idea. And what are they going to say? Well, we can't. That's not practical. We can't do it. Oh, but it's practical for us? Now, these are all good questions that the Supreme Court decided are irrelevant somehow. Back in October, the outlet Border Hawk captured live footage of federal Border Patrol agents using heavy machinery to lift the razor wire fencing installed by Texas authorities at Eagle Pass, Texas, so that hundreds of migrants could stream across. Now, watch this footage, and you will notice a distinct absence of illegal aliens in need of quote-unquote emergency aid. Watch.
I'm Efrain Gonzalez, correspondent with Border Hack News. These are exclusive images of how mass crossings of hundreds of migrants are being carried out in recent days at Eagle Pass, raising the barbed wire with machinery. This huge caravan of around 300 migrants crossed into Eagle Pass thanks to Border Patrol agents lifting the barbed wire. The hundreds of migrants crossed in a few minutes, this being the fourth massive crossing that our cameras witnessed in the last days of October. Previously, these caravans are sent to uninhabited areas of the Rio Grande, where Border Patrol awaits them with forklift tractors. Given these facilities, migrants say they prefer to cross the river instead of processing legal entry.
¿El plan cuál es ahora? ¿Cruzar por el río Bravo con sus niños o CBP-1?
Cruzar por el río Bravo y no, primeramente en el nombre de Dios. Se tarda mucho. Y nosotros no tenemos recursos para quedarnos.
Somehow, these large groups of migrants are informed about the place and time when the forklifts raise the barbed wire to cross in drops.
I'm glad I watched that. I wasn't as knowledgeable on this happening as well, too. All right, so I'm glad I'm a little bit more informed on that whole situation. And here's my take, right? Damn, all right, because I see it both ways, bro. Like, I see it both ways. Here's my take, right? Do I agree that, because I think he even mentioned this as well, too. Like, he was saying that, Matt Walsh was saying that, oh, you know, they're labeling all these people as criminals. As I was watching the video, I'm looking at the demographic of the people. Of course, these are people that are fleeing, Mexico, whatever the cases, and coming into Texas through the river. It's not like it was just a group of bandits, like I saw women, I saw children, I saw men, of course. I can't necessarily say that every single last one of those people are coming with ill intent. I can't necessarily say that every single last one of those people are coming to rob, steal, kill, whatever the case is. Like, that's, man, we're leaving Mexico, whatever case our situation, to come to America and just fuck shit up. I don't believe that, right? So to label them all as like criminals and say, oh, they're all fleeing to come vandalize and terrorize the United States, I can't say that. However, do I agree with what Matt Walsh was saying before when he was saying, like, why is it America's problem? Or, why is America aiding? They have forklifts where they're literally lifting up the fence to aid these people to come over undocumented into the United States. I also don't think that's necessarily right as well, too. In a sense that, why can't, and maybe I'm, maybe answer my own question. I think it should be Mexico's problem, Haiti's problem, whatever the case, wherever these people are coming from. It should be their concern to properly provide resources for their inhabitants, their own people. However, of course, I'm going to believe that, America is probably in a better off position to be able to provide maybe safety resources, whatever the case is. Although we got our own shit as well, too. Don't get me wrong. We have our own things that are going on in this world as well, too. But in comparison, America might be a little bit more better suited to aid these people, is what I'm saying. I'm also saying this, like, empathy, bro. Put yourself in those shoes real quick for just a second, man. Let's say you're a father. And again, I'm not saying just the same way that I can't say that all those people were all criminals and they're all vandals. I can't say that. And I'm not necessarily saying what I'm about to say now, like, is going to be the narrative for all of them as well, too. But I want to believe that, if you're willing to cross the river and go through all that heartache, what you're fleeing from is probably worse. If you're willing to go through that, I even saw the one lady that they interviewed saying, through the grace of God, they're willing to cross that river to come over to America. I'm willing to gamble that they're fleeing from some level of hardship. They're fleeing from some level of, some circumstance that is no longer tolerable, right? Put yourself in their shoes for a second, man. Let's say you're a father, you're down to your wits' end, man. You're trying to just figure shit out. You got kids that are whatever the case is, and you're living in a country that doesn't really seek your best interest. You hear about America, right? America is the land of opportunity. The America, oh, this, that, and the other. We can go there. We can start fresh. This, that, and the other. We can figure it out. Whatever the case is. That's how America is painted. If you're in that situation, man, and you're that father, you're that mother, you're that, whatever the case is, maybe you lost your parents, maybe you're those, siblings or whatever the case is that, hey, man, we just got to make it to America. We can figure it out when we get there because we can't stay here. Wouldn't you want somebody to help you? Wouldn't you want, like, all right, bet we got you. This grand America, right? If America's so great of a country as we claim, oh, America's so great, America's so this, America's so that, like, wouldn't you want some help in that regard? Put yourself in those shoes, bro. Like, again, if I'm willing to cross a river, it's because maybe what I'm fleeing from is worse. Maybe it is a life and death situation for those people over there. So I feel like if we're this grand America that's, oh, the land of opportunity and the greatest country in the world, we should be in a position to help other people, man. Is my take. But again, playing on both sides of the fence for a second, like, I don't know if this is the means in which we should do it. Like, I'm not necessarily saying, like, there should be another system in place, basically what I'm saying. Like, I'm not necessarily saying, lift up the fence and let's bring them all over, man. Come one, come all, like, whatever the case is. And, you saw that portion as well, too, where they were asking, like, hey, like, like, oh, like, well, why didn't you just come legally? Go through the process, go through the paperwork. And I, again, having, being of foreign descent as well, too, I know the process to apply for visa and play the lottery and hope that your number gets called one day so you can have access to paperwork, whatever the case is, to come over. It's a long, tedious process. And maybe you don't have time where you're at. Maybe circumstances are dire where it's like, bro, we don't got time to come here and process documents. We got to leave today. So it's just like, basically, in a nutshell, what I'm saying is like, and again, I'm glad I watched that because I have a little bit more insight now, being able to see both sides. We can't just say all these people are vandals and criminals. And yeah, there is going to be a demographic. If there's 300, maybe there's going to be 50, maybe more, maybe less. We don't know. Yeah, there's going to be some bad apples in that bunch, bro. It just comes with it. Like, that's going to be part of it. But in terms of just the human element is what I'm saying, man. Let's put aside countries for a second and what are the cases. Let's just focus on the human element. One human is in a dire situation and is seeking help and safety and provision and food and resources from other humans that seem to be in position. Why are we not helping them, bro? Or why are we not maybe in, and I don't know how all this politics stuff works, but why is maybe America and all the aid that they're doing and all the tax dollars, whatever the case is, and you might feel a way about this as well too, like, why aren't we helping? Like, yo, bro, it's like calling like, yo, Mexico, like, yo, man, y'all, your people, what are y'all doing over there? Your people's over here, coming over here, man. Y'all don't got infrastructure. And then Mexico can rebuttal and be like, nah, bro, we don't. Things are hard for us right now, man. Like, whatever the case is, like, yo, let's work something out where it's like, hey, man, we send you X amount of people. Here's their information. Here's what are the cases. Help us out a little bit, man. You guys got infrastructure. Y'all got space over there. It's literally like that. Like, yo, y'all got space over there? Like, yeah, we got space over here. Cool. We got space over here, or we don't have space over here, whatever the case is, right? So it's just like, I look at it like that, man. Like, from a human aspect, from an empathetic standpoint, we can help these people out, right? Like, am I ignorant in saying so? Am I tripping? Let me know if I'm wrong on this completely, because I know people that feel passionate about this. Like, no, keep them out. They're legal immigrants. They're gonna come take our resources and our tax dollars and be lazy and roam the streets, whatever the case is. Come on, bro. That's a blanket statement. We can't necessarily say that's going to be the case for every single person. And I even spoke on this in the previous video as well, too. When I was talking on YouTube, I made a statement of, how it seems like we're eager. There was a story about that came out not too long ago about some scientists and scholars in Kentucky that were building some type of infrastructure, building some type of laser, whatever the case is, that was able to communicate with the aliens. And where it was, openly and willingly inviting aliens to come visit Kentucky. Like actual aliens, intergalactic beings. Like, they were inviting aliens willingly to come to Kentucky. And I thought that was strange. I'm like, oh, okay, so we seem to a lot more enthused to invite aliens to come to America, but people at the border with the cases, we turn a blind eye to them. No. Keep them over there. We don't want those illegal aliens. We want those aliens in the sky, not these aliens. Like, it was weird to me, bro. It's just like, we are enthused and use the same resources to invite aliens from outer space to come on down, but we don't want human aliens, which is also a term that I don't even agree with. The undocumented or people, just immigrants, whatever the case is. We don't want them to come. No. Because they're going to use up all our resources and all our hard-paying tax dollars or whatever the case is. And my rebuttal to that is like, yo, don't fall for the trap of believing that America doesn't have resources, bro. There's plenty of resources. There's plenty of money out here, in my opinion. It's like, oh, your tax dollars, bro. You don't know where your tax dollars are going. They tell you, oh, your tax dollars are going to paving the roads and schools and, yeah, all right. America has proven that they can generate money and generate funds for all these other ventures. Again, I'm not the most knowledgeable in terms of how much was sent to Ukraine and how much was sent for this war and how much America sent for this, that, and the other, but these are large numbers. Just like the same thing with student loan debt. How it seems like if America really wanted to, they can wipe out all student loan debt for everybody. I don't care what the number is. Something trillion, 3, 4, whatever the case is, or credit card debt, whatever the case is. If they really wanted to, the same resources are there, and they'll say, no, it's your tax dollars that are doing it. Your tax dollars are paying the salary of the police officers and these teachers and this, that, and the other. Don't fall for that trap, bro. America has the bread. America is not short of money, bro. We can literally print money. And of course, you'll say, oh, that's what causes inflation. Don't you know any better? Printing money where there's not, the means to balance it out, or whatever the case is, that's what's causing the inflation. That's what's causing this, that, and the other. Yeah, I get you. But at the same time, let's not say it's resources. Come up with another reason is basically what I'm saying. Don't say there's not enough resources for these other humans that are in desperate situations. We don't have enough resources. We don't have enough housing. That, bro, same thing in the same rebuttal with the homeless situation in America as well too, and the food shortages and hunger and this and the other. If we really wanted to, there's resources for all of that, bro. 110%. 110%. I do not believe that there's a shortage of money. There's a shortage of systems in place in healthcare and this, that, and the other. If we really wanted to, if we really cared, if we were just as enthused as we are about inviting aliens from outer space, as we were about helping other humans in desperate situations, we would figure it out. We would have came up with some type of infrastructure, some type of system to see to it that everybody could eat, bro. That's the point I'm trying to make. So it's just like, again, I'm curious to hear what people think on this one, man. I've seen people passionate on both sides. Like, it feels like when it comes to like animals, cats, dogs, like America will go all out. Oh man, let's find a shelter for these animals, the cats. Don't harm the cats. And PETA, don't eat the animals. Don't wear fur, and this, that. In other cases, they'll go all out for some animals, but other humans, wow, it's like pulling teeth. Is how I feel, bro. So I don't know, man. But I'm glad I watched that because it did give me a perspective. Because I kind of see some of these things on surface level. I will admit, it was a subject in particular that I did see, that I wasn't as knowledgeable on. I did see the news that was happening in New York where people, I think they evacuated a high school somewhere in New York so that I think it was migrants or whoever they were could use their gym, that facility, to house hundreds of people, whatever the cases. So I'm not saying that we don't make the attempt at all. And again, I'm not necessarily saying that this is right as well, too. Let's just open up the border and like, hey, guys, come on over. How many you got? 10,000? Cool. Come on over. We got you. Because, again, we do got our own shit that's happening in America that we need to see to get in order as well, too. So I do agree with that. But I don't agree with saying everybody that's coming from over the border is a criminal and they're coming to rob and steal and kill. Nah, bro. Some people are just in a bad situation. How would you feel? Put yourself in people's shoes. And I always say that, man, we suck at empathy, man. How would you feel, bro? If you weren't blessed to be an American and you came up in a third world country and your family's looking at you as the father, the male in your household, as the leader in your household, like, yo, we down bad right now. What's the plan, Pops? What's the plan, husband? What's the plan, Dad? And all you could cook up right now is like, man, all right, we just got to get to America, man. I got family out there. Maybe I don't have family, or I hear such these good things about the land of America, the land of opportunity. Hey, man, we're going to make a run for the border, man. That's what I got. What if your back is against the wall? You don't really know the circumstance that these people are fleeing from, bro. Just like these refugees, man. People leaving, their home, their nation. I'm sure in ideal situation, they wouldn't want to leave. You think they want to be crossing a river? Nah, bro. They have no choice. So it's just like, I think that's where my thing is. We can't classify all these people as robbers and killers and whatever the case is. Yeah, they're going to be, there's some resources, but I believe that there's plenty of resources to go around. That's my take. We can figure it out. Even the homeless problem in America, the illegals in America, the people that are struggling in America, there's resources, bro. There's resources to help, bro. That's my take on that, honestly.